testimony are not accurate. Description of specific statements. Description of specific statements. Characterization of documents and testimony obtained by the office. Tonight, Buzzfeed says they stand by their reporting, and they say they are urging the special counsel to make clear exactly what his office is disputing here. Joining us now is Chuck Rosenberg, former U.S. Attorney in the Eastern District of Virginia, former senior FBI and Justice Department official. Mr. Rosenberg, it is great to have you with us tonight. Thank you for making time.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
So let me just, I want you to tell me what you think is important about this, your feelings about the reporting in the first instance, but also this statement from the special counsel's office about it.
You know, there's an aspect of 5-year-old soccer to this. If you ever watch kids play, they all sort of mass together, and every now and then the ball squirts loose, and then they run over to the ball together. We did that with respect to the Buzzfeed story, and I fear we're doing that now with respect to the Mueller statement. I think what you said earlier about the prosecutors laying a predicate when Cohen pled guilty to lying to Congress is exactly right, and here's why. Go back to first principles. Look at what the Mueller team said in their sentencing memorandum regarding Michael Cohen and that charge of lying to Congress. If you don't mind, Rachel, I'd like to read just one sentence to you.
Please.
Yeah. The information provided by Cohen about the Moscow project in these proffer sessions is consistent with and corroborated by other information obtained in the course of the special counsel office's investigation. That's Mueller's own words, right? They're saying that what Cohen said about the Moscow project, the lies to Congress, others being involved, the fact that the Mueller team has corroborating information in their possession comes right from Mueller himself. I think that's what really matters here.
So if, just to drill down on the importance of that, they've got information from Cohen that, according to the special counsel's office, is corroborated by other evidence. And that is what they stated in conjunction or in support of Cohen's guilty plea to lying to Congress about this matter. I will say one of the main questions, the most potent questions, I think, about this Buzzfeed reporting today has been, well, if Mueller has this evidence that Cohen was directed to lie when he lied to Congress, why wasn't that charged or otherwise indicated in court that day in November when Cohen was there pleading guilty to lying to Congress? Would you expect, if the special counsel's office did have the kind of information that Buzzfeed says they have, that somebody directed Cohen to do this, would you expect that to have turned up in that day in the charging documents that day in court when Cohen pled?
No, not necessarily, because you want to keep some of your powder dry. Laying the predicate, as you said earlier, is precisely, I think, what the Mueller team is doing here. They want to use Michael Cohen, or any defendant for that matter. Look, generically, you have a defendant plead guilty to conduct that he committed when you want to use that defendant against others who did the same thing, whether it's the taxi king, whether it's Michael Cohen. You have them plead to a set of operative facts describing what they did, because someday down the road, you're going to use them to help you get others who did the same thing. That's what I think happened here. But you don't want to sort of lay all of your cards on the table as a prosecutor, because you're still investigating that thing, that conduct, the others who were involved in it. And so what the Mueller team did makes sense to me, and the way they described it really, in some ways, buttresses the core of the Buzzfeed story. Now, obviously, the Mueller team is pushing back on aspects of the Buzzfeed story. But I think in the main, what you can glean from their December 7th sentencing memorandum is that the core of the Buzzfeed story is accurate.
In terms of that, the way they are pushing back, I mean, we heard from Ben Smith, who's the editor at Buzzfeed, very early on in the show tonight, plainly frustrated with trying to parse the special counsel's statement, trying to understand what exactly was in dispute. I mean, what the statement says is that what's not accurate is Buzzfeed's description of specific statements to the special counsel's office and Buzzfeed's characterization of documents and testimony obtained by the office. Do you think that if Mueller's office wanted to say this allegation is false, the president didn't direct Cohen to lie, they could have put out a more blunt statement that wasn't parsing this so tightly?
Absolutely. It would have been very simple to say the reporting is dead wrong in every respect. They didn't do that. And I think the emphasis you put on those words, the specific descriptions, the characterizations, sort of is a window into the thinking of the Mueller team. There are parts of the reporting that trouble them. I have no idea, Rachel, by the way, why they decided on this occasion to push back on a story. I'm sure there are other stories that got other things wrong. But again, in the main, I come back to this point. It seems to me that the core of the story is correct, and we can determine that from the Mueller team's own court filing. That's really the best place to look, I think, all the time for what's really going on in this case.
Chuck Rosenberg, former U.S. Attorney in the Eastern District of Virginia, former senior FBI and Justice Department official, and clarion voice, as always. Chuck, thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Thank you. My pleasure.
All right, so we're following this extraordinary turn in this reporting. This famously silent special counsel's office speaking tonight, pushing back on the Buzzfeed report, but in a very narrow way. You're about as likely to get a response out of the special counsel's office as you are to get attacked by wombats or to be eaten by a shark when you're inland. But